Hi, this is Dr. Resnick, and I'm here to interview David today about fasting. David just did a 10-day fast on water only, and additional 2 days, which was almost a fast because he introduced very, very little food. And I didn't tell David to do that. David came to me asking to be monitored for this. However, I do regularly suggest my patients to do intermittent fasting, or one or 2 days per week or every other week, whatever they can. And so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to share David's experience and to be an encouragement for other people to do that. So, David, if you could tell what made you want to do the fast, and maybe
Sure.
your background in that.
Yeah, so I've had just some autoimmune health issues that have been with me since the mid 80s. And over time, that was getting worse and worse. And eventually, in the late 90s, 99 or 2000, I went to a naturopathic doctor. And she reviewed all of my situation and suggested some significant dietary changes and fasting. Um, and back at that time, I started with some 4 and 6 day fasts, and over the years, it has had a extremely positive impact on my autoimmune health. It was probably stronger than any drug that I've ever taken. Was the positive effects of fasting and diet. Haven't managed to cure it yet, but I certainly have over the years had multi-year periods of absolutely drug-free remissions that were 100% verified medically and surprised my doctors, and it was totally for me for fasting and diet.
Good. And also, I want to mention David has been, in addition to the fasting experience, has experience with just being on a very, very healthy diet also since that period of
Mm-hmm.
time, so about 15, 16 years.
2000, yeah.
Yeah.
In 2000, I went to just not what I am now. Currently now, I eat just 100% raw vegan with a really good supplementation program with B12 and a few other things. Uh, and it's evolved to that, but first it went to just taking out wheat and sugar and candy and junk, and just continued to get better. Then for a long time, just a regular vegetarian. And then, the last several months has been 100% raw vegan.
And so, if you could then talk about how the experience of this 10-day fast
Yeah.
went to the beginning, middle, and end of
Yeah,
it.
that was really a great experience. When you start a fast from a very strong positive diet like I'm on now, eating a lot of live foods and no stimulants, uh, fasting is actually, it was very easy. I'd say, day one, you still, even though I eat such a strict diet, you still have some slight withdrawal symptoms from the fruit sugars and things. So a little slow, maybe days 1 and 2, but I worked full time through the fast up until days 9 and 10. Um, and Then after about day 3 or 4, no hunger pains anymore. Your body has switched to full ketosis. Your stomach's empty. The digestive juices are pretty much out of there, and I'm in full ketosis. I'm not even thinking about food. I'm really, really feeling really good, and I felt really good about the purpose and the results that I'm shooting for. I also found that this being my longest fast, that in that day 5 range, I just found this like great tranquility. Normally, I'm a type A, high stress person, got a busy job, and even in the midst of that, with everything coming at me all day, and of course, I didn't share with everybody around me what I was up to. I just acted normal and came in here and did my thing, and I found that actually I felt better than I had in a long time, just spiritually. It was a really good experience. Now, I run at a fairly lean body weight because of my diet and exercise routine. And I found that at about day 7 or 8, that my fat reserves were getting low, and I just had to just pace myself. I couldn't run up a flight of stairs because there's that lag when you don't have carbohydrates in your liver for your body to get right away. You run up a flight of stairs, and it takes a little time to grab some fat and metabolize it and turn it into the energy that you need. So you would run up a flight of stairs and go, oh, so you had to just pace yourself. And then it was day 9 and 10. Day 10 is when I made the decision to stop, and I was playing it day by day. I wanted to go as long as I could. I just felt that my fat reserves had been used up, and my legs were starting to feel just very tired, and I was just having a hard time really doing anything more than just taking it easy. And so on day 10, I broke the fast. Let's see, what else could I say? I think I had really good energy levels all day. I also say that, in that day 4 beyond, when you're in full ketosis and you really start metabolizing fat and your body is detoxing and getting rid of all the stuff that's kind of tucked away in there, you start to just feel that stuff coming off in your skin and your mouth, and you just want to just make sure you wash your mouth out really good and dry wipe your skin off as often as you can. But really, for me, it was a great experience, and the results were very positive.
And you mentioned that getting into the fast, if you're to begin with on a healthier diet, you're off
Absolutely.
coffee, off
Right.
as much junk food as possible prior to
Totally.
going to the fast.
Yeah.
That makes experience much different.
Yeah. If you're gonna try your first fast, you definitely want to try to get rid of those addictions that we all have, the sugar, the coffee, because those things compound, and they can actually make the fast a bad experience for you. Um, my first fasts, where I was eating the standard American diet, and 4 or even 6 days were a bit more difficult. The headache, but really it wasn't the fast. It was my withdrawal from coffee and sugar, and that just makes it far more difficult. So I would highly recommend trying to get that stuff out of your diet before you do anything more than a 1-day fast.
And then also resumption of the diet.
Yeah, it's very important. Just like leading into a fast, I think the most critical stage is getting off the fast. If you, when you're past 4 days, there's really no digestive enzymes left in your stomach. The acid is gone. And if you were to go ahead and eat some bacon and eggs on day 5 or 6 on your first fast, you'd find yourself pretty sick. You have to taper in with very certain foods like super ripe sweet fruits and just little bits, and you wait 2 hours and you have a little bit more. And there's some really great literature out there on it, a bunch of great books on Amazon that you can read. And I would highly recommend, if anybody were to undertake a fast, that they do a lot of research. And if it's going to be more than a few days, to find a good doctor that's willing to at least work with you and keep an eye on you and check your pulse and your blood and make sure that you're okay. Definitely.
And we did, since David came to me with the question of supervising or monitoring him, we did get a blood test at about day 5,
Mm-hmm.
which was completely normal, and the heart rate was normal, and blood pressure stayed. I suggest to people to do just the 1 or 2 days, which any healthy person who is not on daily medication can do. It's very easy for a normal body to go a couple of days without food. If you are on a daily medication, then one needs to consult a doctor about this, but otherwise it has many now research-backed benefits, and I recommend and I encourage people to do it.
Yeah, and I do a one day fast each week now, and I look forward to it. I like the idea that I'm giving my digestive system a rest and just cleaning out my body, and then starting fresh with a nice healthy meal, and it helps sustain the efforts of a good diet and a longer fast, and keep your body and your system healthy longer, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what my experience tells me.
Yeah, and I'm also doing, you know, weekly, either 1 or 2 day fasting, and I find exactly the same. Good. Any last comments? You?
Well, one thing I would say is that, and I wanted to mention, and we kind of alluded to it, is that fasting is something that should always be, you should do a lot of research, make sure you find a doctor to talk to if you're going to go beyond a couple of days, and remember that you know, if you're fasting off of the standard American diet, make sure you prepare, do your research, be very careful when you come off that fast, and I think that anybody that does it would get some really great rewards like I have. It's a life changer for me. It has been for many years now, in a very positive way.
Good. Well, thank you for sharing your experience.
Glad to.
And I think it will encourage other people.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody.